If someone only values you when you are useful, your confusion is not weakness. You felt it already, but you kept explaining their behavior into something kinder. Today we are naming the patterns so you stop calling exploitation loyalty. By the end of this, you will know exactly what their behavior is saying. And more important, you will know how to stop feeding it with guilt. I know how this feels because manipulative people rarely arrive looking obviously manipulative. They arrive helpful, wounded, charming, overwhelmed, misunderstood, or weirdly dependent on your calm. You think you are being kind, patient, mature, or just giving them grace. Then one day, you notice they only reach for you when something benefits them. Not when you were exhausted, grieving, busy, healing, or finally needing something back. First sign, they disappear during your hard moments, then reappear when they need access. That access could be your time, your attention, your resources, your emotional labor, your connections. Notice how quickly their silence ends when they want advice, favors, comfort, or rescue. But when you need support, suddenly they are overwhelmed, unreachable, tired, or confused. That is not poor timing every single time. That is selective investment. A healthy person cannot always show up, but they do not vanish strategically. Toxic users go missing when giving is required, in return when taking feels easy. Think about the friend who ignores your messages for weeks, then asks for introductions. Or the cousin who never checks on you, unless they need money again. Or the ex who suddenly misses you right before their life gets messy. Their timing is the message. Need, not love, is usually bringing them back. Second sign, they listen just enough to collect information, not enough to understand you. This one hurts because it can look like interest, closeness, even emotional intimacy. They ask questions, remember details, study your patterns, and notice what gets reactions. But later those same details return as pressure points, guilt hooks, or ammunition. You tell them your family makes you feel selfish, and suddenly, selfish becomes their weapon. You tell them conflict scares you, and now every conversation gets framed as your overreaction. You tell a coworker you need this job, and they start leaning on that fear. Real care protects what you share. Manipulation stores it for future leverage. That is why some conversations leave you strangely exposed, even when nothing openly cruel happened. You were not imagining it. They were mapping your soft spots. You felt it. Third sign, every interaction somehow circles back to what you owe, fix, prove, or provide. With them, nothing stays simple. A favor becomes precedent, help becomes obligation, availability becomes expectation. You answer once, and now they act like you should always answer immediately. You help once, and now refusal somehow becomes betrayal in their eyes. You stay late for your boss, and suddenly weekends are considered available too. You calm your parent after one meltdown, and now you are their emotional regulator. The hidden belief is simple. Your role is service, not mutual respect. That is why normal limits trigger such dramatic reactions. Limits interrupt a benefit stream. Fourth sign, they become cold, offended, or wounded the moment your access changes. You said you were busy, and suddenly their warmth turns into distance or attitude. You stop oversharing, and now they act suspicious, insulted, or strangely superior. You said no without explaining, and they behave like you committed betrayal. This is where many good people panic and start over explaining their boundary. They think clarity will calm the reaction, but explanations often feed the reaction. Why? Because the issue was never confusion. The issue was lost access. Their anger does not always mean you were cruel. It can mean control slipped. Their guilt trip does not prove you were selfish. It often proves entitlement. Their silent treatment is not always distance. Sometimes it is punishment wearing quiet clothes. Healthy space gives room to regulate. Manipulative silence is designed to make you chase. Then here is the sign most people miss. They only respect feelings that serve them. Your pain is inconvenient. Their pain is sacred. Your frustration is rude. Their frustration is understandable. They expect patience for their bad moods, but call your emotions drama or negativity. They want understanding for their stress, but punish you for having limits under stress. That double standard reveals the relationship clearly. You are an outlet, not an equal. A healthy person may dislike a boundary, but they can still handle it. They may ask questions, feel disappointed, or need time, but they do not retaliate. Toxic people treat your limit like abuse because your limit ends their convenience. That reaction is not proof you did something wrong. It is exposure. Fifth side, They flatter you when they need you, then devalue you afterward. Praise from a user often feels intense, specific, and strangely urgent. That is intentional. They tell you nobody understands them like you do, right before asking another favor. They say you are the only reliable one, right before crossing another line. They call you strong because they want free labor from your strength. Then when you pull back, the compliments vanish and criticism suddenly appears. Now you are suddenly selfish and dramatic, cold, difficult, disrespectful, or too sensitive. That switch tells you the praise was payment, not truth from them. Sixth sign, they make you feel guilty for becoming harder to use. This is the final layer, and it is where many people stay trapped. You start noticing the pattern, so they start carefully managing your conscience. They bring up everything they ever did for you, even things you never requested. They act hurt that you changed, as if growth was betrayal instead of maturity. They say things like, "After all I have done, this is how you treat me." Or they sigh and say, "Wow, you've become really different lately." What they mean is not, "You changed," but they mean is, "You are harder to access." That guilt is the lock on the cage. Break that, and everything changes. People like this often choose those who are conscientious, loyal, and uncomfortable disappointing others. They know your empathy can be turned against you if they sound hurt enough. So you end up managing their emotions while abandoning your own signals. You call it patience. They experience it as permission. That difference changes everything. This is why you feel lonely even inside relationships that seem active. You are present, available, responsive, and useful, but not actually being cared for. Being needed is not the same thing as being valued. Remember that. A user can sound attached to you while still being emotionally detached from you. They do not miss you. They miss what you are preventing them from feeling. Their stress, their boredom, their consequences, their loneliness, their chaos, their lack of discipline. Now here's the nuance that protects you from becoming cold, reactive, or paranoid. Not every difficult person is toxic. Not every needy moment is manipulation. Sometimes people are messy, stressed, grieving, immature, or temporarily self-absorbed humans. The difference is what happens when you set a clear limit once. Healthy people adjust, even imperfectly. Users escalate, punish, guilt, recruit, or withdraw strategically. That is why your boundary is diagnostic. It reveals motive faster than words. If you want certainty, stop reading promises and start watching patterns after limits. And when you see the pattern, do not rush into a grand confrontation. Some people deserve clarity. Others only deserve less access from you now. Strategy matters, especially when the person is a boss, parent, or someone volatile. You do not always need a dramatic speech. You need cleaner behavior. Short answers, delayed replies, fewer details, less emotional availability, stronger patterns from you. Let their disappointment breed without rushing to rescue it. That pause is power. One of your strongest weapons is a calm face and a boring answer. "That does not work for me," is stronger than a 3-minute defense. My answer is the same, can end a whole guilt campaign quickly. I'm not discussing this protects you from traps disguised as conversation. I'm available during work hours, can reset a boss who feeds on access. Not this time matters because it closes the door without opening negotiation. And sometimes the most powerful word is still no, said once, then protected. Notice what all these phrases have in common. They do not beg. They do not over-explain. They do not invite a jury into your boundary. Manipulative people feed on openings. Explanations create openings. Silence after clarity closes them. Another weapon is refusing to fill every silence they create to make you nervous. Manipulators often count on your discomfort to make you keep talking first. And the more you talk, the more material they get to twist. So after your boundary, pause. Let their reaction belong to them fully. Do not rescue the silence. Do not decorate your no until it becomes a maybe. A calm tone with fewer words unsettles people who rely on emotional chaos. They want you flustered, defending, apologizing, and proving your good heart again. Calm refusal removes the performance they were trying to pull from you. That is why emotional control is not coldness. It is self-protection without drama. Boundaries are not about controlling them. Boundaries are about deciding what happens around you. This does not mean become cruel. It means stop donating softness to people exploiting it. Your kindness was never the problem. The problem was giving it where respect was absent. Think about the parent who calls only when they need emotional dumping space. You listen for an hour, leave drained, Then hear nothing when your week collapses. When you finally shorten the call, they say you used to care more. No, you just stopped offering unlimited access to your nervous system every time. Think about the friend who never invites you out unless they need something. Suddenly they are warm, nostalgic, flattering, and full of urgent reasons today. When you decline, they vanish again, then act confused about why you pulled away. That confusion is theater. They understand loss of benefit better than loss of connection. Think about the boss who praises your dedication then texts you at night. When you stop answering, they suddenly question your commitment, attitude, or team spirit. Translation: your boundary interrupted convenience, so now your character gets put on trial. This is why you must learn to decode behavior, not just react emotionally. A smear campaign can mean image control after private control stops working. Fake concern can mean information gathering. Sudden affection can mean access recovery. Repeated confusion can mean refusal, not inability. Some people understand, they just dislike limits. Once you see this clearly, your self-doubt starts losing its authority. You stop asking, maybe I was too harsh, every time they react badly. You start asking, what did my limit interrupt, and why did that trigger them? That question changes everything because it moves you from guilt into pattern recognition. And pattern recognition is emotional self-defense for people trained to over-explain. You do not need their agreement to honor what your body already knows. If you feel consistently used, drained, anxious, guilty, and strangely unseen, pay attention. Peace does not usually leave you confused. Manipulation does. Your nervous system knows. The goal is not becoming harder. The goal is becoming less available for misuse. Softer heart, sharper filter. That is the balance manipulative people hate most. Because once you stop confusing guilt with goodness, their favorite door starts closing. And once that door closes, they have to reveal who they really are. Some will adjust, some will leave, some will attack. Every reaction gives you information. Let it. Information is expensive when earned late, but priceless when finally understood. If this hits something real, name the sign you have been ignoring. Or take one phrase from this and use it today without apology. And if you want more calm power like this, stay close to this channel. The people who need you helpless will always hate your clarity. Keep it anyway.